couple is now 40. It's an age that 30-somethings fear. Both Peter and Emma like to think they're still young, but now they've actually hit middle age. After 40, we start to feel a change in our metabolism. We now need around 120 fewer calories a day. Some of our body's thermostats don't work quite as well, and we tire more easily.
Generally, things tend to wear out as we get old. For instance, our lung ability to suck in air is reduced with age.
The capacity of our lungs may decrease by as much as 40%. And after 40 years, many of the tissues in our bodies, both inside and out, become less supple. For instance, some of us lose elasticity in our eyes and become long-sighted.
The eyeball is less elastic, and so one can't focus. Many people will tell you in their 50s they need to throw the newspaper on the floor to be able to read it.
And this lack of elasticity also affects our skin. From the moment we wake up each day, our body's natural coating is being stretched and contorted. Our skin has been kept elastic our entire lives with the help of collagen, a protein of great tensile strength. But now this is beginning to wear out.
The skin loses its elasticity with age. Pull the skin up and you see mine takes 3 or 4 seconds to go back down to normal because sadly I'm no longer young. If you look at a child, it goes very quickly, and someone who's say in their 80s, you would see it may take 10 or 15 seconds for the skin to go back down.
And in our 40s, our supply of collagen comes under attack. Our skin gets thinner and wrinkled, and its cells become corrupted or senescent.
Senescent cells are poisonous to the body, and they start making lots of enzymes which break collagen down. So senescent cells give you wrinkles.
Luckily, our skin is continually replacing itself. Here is 20 square feet of plastic wrap. That's the amount of skin we shed every 3 weeks. About the size of one of these dry cleaning wrappers. And during our 40s, we'll go through this many birthday suits. $174 of them. We won't grow such good skin again, but although discarded, it has served a valuable purpose. It's been our body's first line of protection against virtually everything we come in contact with. And that includes germs of all shapes and sizes. But our skin can only do so much. It also helps to know where all those germs are. For example, would you rather eat your lunch off your office desk or the toilet seat at work?
There are a lot of germs on the toilet seats.
No, I'll never do that in my life. Never.
It's got to be pretty filthy.
There's so many germs on there.
Yet an office toilet seat has only 49 germs per square inch, compared with 21,000 germs that live on a square inch of our desk. As we get older, dealing with the fallout of a nasty cold germ can certainly seem more taxing. But that's not the only thing we need to worry about. In our 40s, we may also start to find that the occasional hangover, which we could shrug off in our 20s and 30s, can now make the day after not quite so easy to contend with.
Alcohol is really a poison to our body, but the liver can work it and detoxify it so that it can be metabolized. And if the liver gets overwhelmed and the alcohol level starts to rise, that's when the rest of the body begins to feel it.
And the liver isn't the only organ needing to work overtime. This is how much our kidneys deal with. They filter 40 gallons of blood a day, extracting urea and minerals and expelling them in our urine, up to 3 pints a day. In a year, they check over 14,000 gallons worth of blood. But in our 40s, our kidneys' performance decreases by around 2 pints less blood each hour. That's 48 pints, or 6 gallons less, every day. And while aging may not affect the digestive system as much as other organs, some of us may become more sensitized to certain foods. Our bowel can suffer a buildup of gas and become bloated. Sometimes the only way of getting rid of the problem is to release it, as wind.
The medical terminology is either intestinal gas or flatus. Those are usually the words that we use that describe a fart. But there's still always something funny about it. Why that is, I don't know. You know, truthfully, in my field, if you don't keep your sense of humor, you can't talk about any of this stuff.
How many times a day do I fart? Maybe like 5 times. Quietly.
Let's say like 10 times a day.
I'm pregnant. That's not fair. Like all day. Maybe 40.
I think I pass gas every 25 seconds.
You're interviewing the king of farts. It's nonstop. It doesn't end. I'm farting now, actually.
By 40, we will have farted over 200,000 times. That's over 15,000 quarts of gas. Enough to fill this inflatable castle. You may think that by now we've just become 40-year-old farts. But no way. Look no further than this. On the left, in the blue shirt, is super fit Theo, aged 18. On the right, in the gray shirt, is Richard, aged 41. Richard can't run, accelerate, bend, or stretch as fast as Theo can. So how come Richard is winning?
Most people think about aging as a downhill process, and that is really not the case. As you grow older, you may move slower, but you're wiser. You have more knowledge.
Now our body has reached 50 years old. But what sort of shape is it in? Well, at 50, we need regular maintenance to keep running smoothly. We need to keep an eye on the lubrication of our 230 joints. We also have to patch up the odd dent. Our outer coating isn't quite as thick as it once was. Our engine still starts okay, but we don't rev quite as hard. But then we're wiser and don't always need to.
You are surprisingly like your car. You're also a mixture of complicated systems, your digestive system, your cardiovascular system, and so on. And with use through your life, these systems start to develop faults and damage, and eventually they don't work as well as they should do.
Our bodies work best at 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. If we go over this, then we sweat. On a normal day, we lose 170 calories of heat, which is about the same as the calories in one donut. To manage this excess exhaust, we each have 3 million tiny sweat glands. If you unraveled them and put them all together, they would stretch for over 5.5 miles. This system all works very efficiently, but for women during their late 40s, these bodily mechanisms can encounter a hiccup.
Often women will come into me in the clinic and say, "Doctor, I'm having to throw the blankets off, I'm sweating in the middle of the night, I can't sleep any longer, I feel rotten," and many women will feel quite depressed and not very happy with life.
This is the menopause, when many of the hormones which were turned on when we entered puberty are now turned down. A woman's monthly cycle gradually grinds to a halt as the hormones progesterone and estrogen are reduced.
Aging eliminates hormones. It's Mother Nature's way of taking us out. The natural evolution is the fact that once we've raised our children and we're no longer needed, we shouldn't be there. So our hormones leave us.
Hormones leave men as well. It's called